Hi viewers, welcome to my channel, and I'm basically going to do something here on Java, on Java programming. And so my concept is right now it is different because I'm going to learn Java. Also, I'm going to put this on uploading through this video so that I can remind by myself later on. So I'll just go to IntelliJ IDEA, this code editor I'm going to use, and in this code editor we'll be doing some coding. Okay, so these are already my previous uh, editing programs. We did some programs here. So we go for terminal. It will show the terminal now, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. The terminal is here. So shows here. But still, uh, besides this kind of uh, terminology, uh, we'll be creating some another class. So for that, we have to go to source, go to the new classes for the Java class. We could be going for dot new class, or you can go call dot today's tutorial, which is the new one. So you can see, I don't know why it came through like this way. So, but still, you can go anything, whatever. For example, if I go to source and again, so if we go com dot new day, again it comes in a different way. But let me go and delete this new day. We don't need a new day right now. So I'll be catching this off. So sorry about my. So I'll be going to the. Uh, so let me see the packages which I made it before as. Oh, okay. So I have to go for a new package. For example, dot today is one dot asmac. Let me try here. So asmac is my class. Uh, okay. So it will be always asmac Java. So when we go for the main, so it will show these things, and then after that we'll go from here. Okay. So basically, we'll do is we are going to learn from this channel. The channel name is Bro Code. You can see on your left side is Bro Code, and he does from free level in. These are all free, including the intermediate level and advanced level. So we'll be right now learning how to do Java coding, compiling, and more or less it is for the beginners friendly. So let's start. I don't know what's happening on this. Come on, bro. Anyway, I'll just do a little bit like this. And I think we don't need any project right now. So if you don't know how to do this, so let me show this. This is when you just by somehow you clicked wrong, so you put it there. So you'll be here on this project file again. So you can do it like this. Or if you want to make this window bigger, so you again go for Windows and I think project or something. I don't think it's showing over here for some reason. I don't know. No, it doesn't show, or probably it shows. I'm not sure. So I'll just go with this way, project. Okay, you click project and you come back. And that's all. So I'll be here for now. And um, and if you want to, yeah, if you want to just zoom in and zoom out, you could do it like this way. And also for this channel, for my channel, because it is showing at the middle of here, so you can just drag down because of your beneficiary so that you can see easily. Okay, so for this here, you just go for zoom in so that you can see easily this. And now
New Java.
I don't understand. Sorry about that. Just drag a little bigger, and there you
Project,
go.
and that will take you to the same place. We need a unique name for this Java project. I will call this my first program, and I will want to configure the JRE, the Java Runtime Environment, and we downloaded that with the JDK because the JRE is a component of the JDK. So I'm currently using go to directory side within the project.
Okay, I'm going in the real compiling methods directly. We don't have to waste our time how to do JDK and everything. If you don't know how to do JDK, just Google it or YouTube it, and you'll find out how to do JDK. We'll go directly to the compilers and as well as editing. So let me go to the editing directly. So he's doing on Eclipse. So I'm doing on IntelliJ IDEA. Both are two different software. You can see these are this is my software, IntelliJ IDEA, and I'm using on this platform. And
That shares the same name
he's using on
as your class
Eclipse.
name. My
You
class
can
name
see.
is named main, therefore my Java file is also
Yeah,
called
you can
main.
see.
So this has
You can see, let the title be gone. So then you can see a little bit. Hold on a second. So you can see he's using Eclipse workspace. So that's a different code editor platform. So these are IDE. That means uh, IDE format. I can Google it for you. So which is IDE, meaning so integrated development environment, which is basically the softwares which you can. Those are the different platform softwares. You can make another kind of softwares or applications uh, or any other developments through this kind of environment, and you need those environment. Without this environment you can just create any other software. So these are the environment itself software. So let me go to the class and we'll jump from there.
The .java file extension, and with what we discussed before, this is source code. It's in a format that humans can easily read and understand. And when we compile this source code to bytecode, we're going to create a new file that has the .class file extension. And with that bytecode file, we can run that and translate it using a JVM, a Java Virtual Machine. Here's our Java file, and we have our class, and mine is called main. So all the class is that it's a collection of related code.
Okay, he named it as a main. So for Eclipse, it's a different thing. I made it as a package at the title, and I just showed you how to make the packages. So if you forgot again, so I could show you again, or if you forgot, you just get back to the preliminary of the tutorial when started. It's not tutorial. I'm also learning. I'm also a learner, so I'm also learning with you guys together. So the thing is, he made it. I mean, Eclipse is a kind of software. A package is not shown in the compiling or in the editing. So we can he creates and it's abstract on Eclipse. But in IntelliJ IDEA software, in this software you have to make the package and it has to be shown in the editing page or in the environment, and this is the compulsory. So if you without a package you started coding in one time, when you compile or when you uh, copy the link and put it into XML or HTML or any other browser, if you want to publish it, it would be a problem for the developer, for the application, for everything. So package is needed. So either even if you do with the Eclipse, also packages compulsory.
We will be exploring in depth on the topic of classes until we reach the subject of object oriented programming, which is about 20 videos into this playlist, so you have some time. So, this is our class. Mine is called main. Anything within the outer set of curly braces belongs to the class and is contained within. And within our class, we have what is called a main method. Our program won't run without this method because when we run our code, we begin by.
So you make it it is called main method because the reason of calling itself a main method, as I showed you before earlier of this editing, when we started editing. So you remember when we do main, so it comes with the method processing. You don't have to just type like public string static, void main, and then after that you put that string and you know this thing and comes with the args. Okay, so you don't have to do this stuff. Yeah, and that's all. So here is a missing. It's a curly bracket starts. So I within this thing. So you start. Okay. So here's the problem is you have to show with the Java translator. So Java translates only some some variables or some persuasive syntax must be capital letter. It is showing the capital letter, so I have to put the capital letter for the S. Sorry about this thing. That's all. So instead of doing everything, you can do directly main and it'll come up automatically. So
calling the main method. So if we were to compile and run this code, you can do so by clicking the screenplay button. All output is displayed to the console window, and nothing appears to happen because we haven't written anything yet. So if we were to remove this main method and tried to do this again, we would encounter an error because our main method was not found in the class main.
yeah, right. So without any main method, if you just do, even though you don't have to do any coding or any kind of coding, it shows a lot of mistakes as well as if you just don't code. If you just go here, so it will show class asmac is never used 3, which is there is no class here. So you're gonna have to go with the main method, which is like main thing. So main thing comes up, and when it shows green and typo means this is a type of syntax and the string main method. This is a type of a method that you can run your programming, such as SOUT. If you go system out print line, so that's what I'm trying to say is if you go system dot out dot printLN, okay, then if you go with this thing and you just go with the uh, Asian Khan is the tutorial is the um, Asian Khan is the dude what I'm trying to write anyway. Asian Khan is doing this class on behalf of you. Listen, I mean, I'm saying because I don't know why. Anyway, so if you see everything is green, so you do this. I mean, run this program and you run this program here because when you are here in this page, you can directly run this as my main. So run this here. So it is showing you the ASM Khan is doing this class on behalf of you. This is the compiling. So this is the print line, and this is the program. And before he jumps into different things, let me try out something else, such as if you go CUT sort, and if you go like um, and if you just make it into two different line, let me show you this so that and I'm trying to do this for the first time. Take a set. Alright. So into two different line. So run is like main. When you click it, what happens? It happens into two different line into uh part by part, not parallel. It's parallel, but you want to make it next to that line. So in that case, if you just mm, print, and also for this, you just print and then see what happens. Okay, you can see Asian Khan is doing this class on behalf of you, and I'm trying to do this for the first time. It is not parallel anymore, so it is in different line. Can you see this? So as well as you can do into so many different things, such as if you do like star or uh, star and not star like n or new, like if you do star t or dash t, I guess it shows the compiler is wrong. So if you have to do something else, so t dash also doesn't go with the code. In that case, if you go with star n, then if you go plus, okay, plus inverted age equals 32, okay, and plus you can go for the inverted. Uh, I can do some better coding as well. Okay, so it is coded. Let's go with this code. What does it show? This is show a long line. Trying to do this for the first time. So this is showing a long line. Okay, so let's go to the uh, bro or bro coder. How does he do? Okay.
It's asking us to please define the main method. For us, a main method we now have, and then text of display another line
I've already completed
of
this
text direct
part.
down to putting our text. So let's try this again using a println. Print line will active to use a sequence follows directly afterwards. This is an escape sequence for a new line character. When we add this escape sequence for a new line, it's as if we're hitting enter wherever we place this escape sequence. So within our string of text for our first line, at the end, we're going to add \n, and this will have the same effect as a print line statement. It's going to display our text and then move the cursor down to the next line. As you can see, there is no additional change to the output within the console window. Now, what if we reverted our print statements back to print line
Okay,
statements and
let's
kept
do
the
it.
additional escape sequence in for a new line character? Well, we're going to have an extra empty line of text because we're displaying our line of output plus an additional character for a new line, and then we're hitting enter at the end via the print line statement. So we're going to have an additional empty line between these two lines of text if we were to do that.
Right.
So a few other
So if you can see, I just added the finished of the new line, and new line starts from this line, and I'm trying to do this and this. So this is the new line after this. Okay, so if you even go with the like this way, probably, let's see, how does it react? Yeah, how does it react? Yeah, now it is better. So now it is showing you like a bigger gap, and also it's parallel to that first line and the next line, which I'm trying to do this for the first time. So it shows the big line and the parallel. Okay, let's go to the. So I'm not sure. I saw a video, so he didn't show the next n, which is this n. He didn't show this n. He just showed the first line n, which is here, which I did. I followed, but he didn't show this line, so I just made it into a different way also. Yeah, because these are multiple lines. So for example, if you I'm making this clear why I just said this is multiple line. That's why I had to start with this n line here as well. So for example, if I go like, hey, I'm here. Okay. So if you go, the next sub line is okay, let's do it. Okay, so these are this is one line, this is one line, but here in this syntax, one line plus second line plus third line. So in that case, I showed and once and twice for the uh, gap between these two between these four lines, but here only if you do like and just once. So what happens, it will it will go the huge gap, and as well, okay, let's do it, a gap and also parallel. uh hey, I'm here, it's it's connected to this. You see, it is connected to this. But if you don't do this line and just remain on like this, it will be separated. I'm pretty sure. See? So, okay, let's do it. And hey, I'm here. It is not separated. Okay, why is it not separated? Let me see. Let me see. Okay, so probably I'm making this here. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. You can do multiple separation. Now it will be separated. Yes. So, and I'm trying to do this for the first time, and I'm trying to do this for the first time. This is the second line. Hey, I'm here. It is separated from that line. Okay, let's do it also separated. But it is showing in a little odd way. See, it is separated into different criteria. So in that case, I could do I could do what? Do like this. What is different here? turn out like this. This code is fine. And then if you do with mm, it'll show because of only one thing that is here. Now it is okay, I guess. I guess so. I guess so. I guess so. Yeah, I think it has to be like this or something. Should I have to? I don't know. No, 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 no. Okay, let me do like this. What was the end? I'm trying to do this for the first time. Trying to do this for the first time. Okay, now let's try it. Yes, now it is separated, but it's a little bit into a formation. You can see it was a little bit odd before. Right now it is separated into from that formation. So that's called an attribute or probably an syntax. You can find a lot of other syntaxes in future. So here you separated that parallel, or you could do oh, for that gap, for that between this time, this this line, and between hey, I'm here, this line. So this line and this line, to make a gap, you can put another an attribute. So you can now it is in a great shape. Now it is in a great shape. So these are all separated. Okay. Okay. So for example, you don't want to do any print line or something. If you do print line, print in a line, so it would be different lines. I guess these are the words only Java can understand. Oh, excuse me. Print, basically print line, print uses into Python. So in Java it is different. So, sensitive language, too much sensitive. So you gotta be careful with this. Yeah, see, I separated into various forms of these things. So you separate from this, separate from here, and to separate from this whole line, you have to do another separation attribute, and then you separate that, and you have to. So these are crazy. Okay, let's do the.
Other escape sequences that you might be interested in include the following. A backslash T will add a tab. So let's precede our text with an escape sequence for a tab, which is backslash T. So this is if we're hitting tab before displaying our text. And we now have some empty space preceding our line of output.
Oh yes, of course. For like if you want to make something. Okay, forget about that black backslash t. So go with the backslash t separate. Can you do this? But you have to do within inverted. That's the thing. Okay. Now it is a different attribute. So let's look. So AZM Khan is doing this class for the first time. Backslash T doesn't make any separation, does it or not? So you can see this whole line, JavaScript compiling line, is separated from the whole AZM Khan things. But if you cut off this and you run this program without that, it will be a different situation. It will be just underneath of that java.x that line. So if you separate from that thing, it is better. So how are you gonna do it? So you just go with this backlash t, and then you just run this, and you just separate it, the whole thing. So whole program is right now separated. So rather than that, if you want to make another situation, not A. What did I do? What did I do? No, no, no. I did the wrong thing. I did the wrong thing. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, it's backslash t again. You just separating from the original situation, which is yeah, parallel, not parallel. It's out of the line things. I think marginal way. You just separate the margins of the starting line, and also sometimes you could do like long way. You can do long way, such as way. Yeah, I think so. If you want to do, you can do. Yeah, like this. So, such as if you go south, yeah, you just you just make a sense of things, like as my class. There's no problem with this kind of syntaxes. There's no problem with this kind of situation for the Java. You can see this is at the middle because we made it at the middle. So and but for the separation for starting this kind of things, you gotta be doing some key attributes and attributes. So such as on HTML we use a attribute, source attribute, and this kind of things. So for Java we can use this for the attribute things. Okay, so
Output. If you need to put something within quotes, let's try to do so normally. So our compiler is actually going to be confused because we cannot normally add a set of quotes because our text already needs to be surrounded with quotes. So if we need to literally display some quotes, some double quotes, we need to precede our double quotes with an escape sequence. So backslash, then quotes. So this will allow us to literally print some double quotes. So we're going to surround our first line of text with some double quotes now.
okay, so here there's another thing. So sometimes for example, you want to highlight this within inverted. So if you want to make this as double quotes or something, as he mentioned right now, so such as backslash double quote, and nothing wrong with this. I think it's a double quote again. So it will show because within the backslash it is created, and again it is created into some manner. but that's the problem. It'll show a different way. So let me do this way on here. So slash and double quote. Yes, double quote. Okay, now this. Now it is showing. So this is showing on to double quote in class or as in class. So for so backwards double quote. It's me. If you want to just, I'm just practicing. I'm just practicing. So I'll be just doing this. I'm just practicing. So here, it's me within double quote. Um, that's all. If you don't want to, then don't. Just you just do plus one. Mm, that's all. Yeah. If you don't want to, just that's it. Plus one without any inverted as my class. So this is the class. This is not my class. Basically, it's GoPro's class. What's his name? I forgot. Okay. Okay, let's do it. We're gonna go for what's going on. What did I do? Okay.
And if you need to display a backslash,
Okay.
then you need to use double backslashes. Because if you use just one, the compiler thinks you're trying to use an escape sequence. And that's how to display a backslash. In summary, anything preceding with a backslash is the beginning of an escape sequence, and there's one of a multitude of characters that could follow afterwards. And depending on the character, this has special meaning for your compiler to do something specific. Now, anything that is following two forward slash, no specific. Now, anything that is following two forward slashes is the beginning of a single line comment. I could write, this is a comment, and this line of text is going to be ignored by the compiler, so there's going to be no change to this program with the additional comment. Anything that is a comment is ignored by the compiler, so it's useful if you need to leave yourself a note or for somebody else that's looking over your code. If you need a multi-line comment, that is a forward slash followed by an asterisk. And anything up to an asterisk and another forward slash will be the bounds of this comment. So I could write on a new line for each word, this is a comment. And all of this will also be ignored by the compiler. So that's how to an or for somebody
Okay.
else that's looking
Listen to this carefully again.
over your code. If you need a multi-line comment, that is a forward slash followed by an asterisk. And anything up to an asterisk and another forward slash will be the bounds of this comment. So I could write on a new line for each word, this is a comment.
Okay, this is really crazy shit. So I don't know why he did that. Anyway, I'll try to do this. So format just comments. So it could be it doesn't have any problem. Like anything you can comment, like anything. If it happens, it'll show kind of that manner of senses, which could make you go Java programmer or something. Okay. Whatever you want to write, you just write. Okay. And what is that? And that's all. Okay. So if you right now here, if you want to write something, you can't because comments. This comment just ended up here at all. That's all. this here. This is the comments done. So if you want to do multiplication or multi-line, like if you want to do multi-line comments, so in my sense, I think these are the multi-line comments. Like, hey, I just wanted to tell you one thing that is so awesome. Please help me to find out understanding my comments. Comments or whatever. So these are excuse me. So these are multi-line comments. So when you do single line comments, as I said, single line. If you want to make single line comments, then it could make you nonsense. Oh my god. So right now this single line comment is done because you started with this double backslash. If you want to like make another comment on this line into double. So if you want to make it double, it can't happen. Okay, because this is single line comment uh, proceedings. So procedure is different. So you made a mistake here by doing double line. So when you do the double line comments, you need to do with this. So you need to do like this and stir. Hey, it's me. I'm here. Such as blah, blah or blah, whatever. So these are the comments. So double line comments. So it doesn't make any problem on your coding. So if you want to do run this thing, it doesn't make any problem on your coding because comments will never be interrupt into your output or whatever you make it. So it doesn't have any problem. Okay, so that's all.
And all of this will also be ignored by the compiler. So that's how to write a multi-line comment, a forward slash and an asterisk, and anything up to another asterisk and forward slash. So those are comments. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for this section on tips and tricks. And for my first trick, I'm going to change the color scheme of my IDE. We're currently using the light theme, but I much prefer the dark theme. I'm going to be joining the dark side. So in order to change the color scheme of your IDE, go to, if you're using Eclipse, Window, Preferences, under the General tab, go to Appearance, Theme, and you can change the theme here.
Okay, he's changing the color theme through Eclipse website. I mean, code editing. But in my here, I don't have those things. So because this is a different website, so I mean, this is a different software. Probably you can change it through settings, but right now I forgot how to do that. Oh, probably here. It's probably here. Show options, menus, or settings. So I don't want to change anything. So I'll just rename this. Okay.
I will click Dark. I'm going to select Apply. Okay, and then apply and close. So the dark theme is great if you want to feel like a pretend elite hacker. For my next trick, I'm going to change the font color as well as the background color of my console window. In order to do so, head back to Window, Preferences, under Run Debug, go to Console, and you can change the color schemes here. I'm going to change the text color to a bright green, click OK, as well as the background color to a slightly lighter shade of black. That should be good. When you're finished, click Apply, and then Apply and Close, and you may need to run this again to see the changes. So that's how to change the font color as well as the background color of your console window. So it's somewhat tedious to have to write a printline statement, correct? System.out.println. Normally that's a lot to type. So a shortcut would be to type sysout, then hold control space, and your IDE will auto-generate the rest of this printline statement for you. Let's move on to trick number 4. Let's say that we have hundreds of different printline statements and we need to change the text to print because we made a mistake. So there's a feature where we can replace some text in your program with another. So let's pretend we would like to replace print line with print. So go to edit, find replace, and we can replace some text with something else. Let's find each instance of print line and replace this with print. Then click replace all. So that will take care of all that for you. Let's move on to some final tips. So with spaces, spaces don't make much of a difference within your code. For example, after this dot and my print portion of this print statement, I could add a bunch of spaces for no reason, and this would run and compile just fine. I'm not sure why you would do that, but that's just to reinforce the point that spaces don't make much of a difference. Unless you're using a space to split up some keywords, then you might run into an issue, or if you're adding space to a string, well then that's going to have a noticeable effect. So spaces, for the most part, don't really matter too much, depending on where they are. Just click on zoom in or out. Hold Control minus to zoom out, or Control plus to zoom in. Or you could go to Window, Editor, then zoom in or zoom out within this menu. Here's my last tip for you. Let's say you accidentally close out of your Package Explorer or your console window. You can easily bring those back by going to Window, Show View, and then they are all listed here. So I would like to bring back my Package
Oh yeah,
Explorer.
for my thing, if you accidentally close down this, you could go to store default layout or something, I guess. Accidentally, if you just change everything. So everything you do, just make sure you just save it. Save all. Okay? Just do save all everything and it'll be fine, I guess. So right now, if you were here, it is all saved. So this is your program. This is just a text, so you don't have to worry about anything else. This is just normal text. You just did nothing, so yeah, yeah.
As well as my console window. Alright guys and gals, you should be ready to get started with Java. Be sure to check out the full 100 video playlist as well. And if you could do me a small tiny favor, I would greatly appreciate it if you could help me defeat the YouTube algorithm by smashing the like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe if you'd like to become a fellow bro. Hey you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. If you learn something new, then you can help me help you in 3 easy steps by smashing that like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe if you'd like to become a fellow bro.
Machine learning is all about statistical models. You probably know about parametric models, like when you're calculating the mass of the moon and
So
you
if
have a
you want to
formula.
skip ads,
Hey, how's it going everybody? It's your bro, hope you're doing well, and in this video I'm going to teach you guys all about variables in Java, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
so we're gonna learn right now the variables. I already made the variables into previous tutorials. String, Boolean, integer, and number are string variables as well. So let's do it again over here.
If you find this video helpful, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support will help keep this channel running. Alright, guys and gals, let's talk about variables. Now, a variable is a placeholder for a value, and it behaves as the value that it contains. Do you remember from either elementary school or middle school when we were working with
So I hope you got these things. But if you don't, let me change you into some things. So,
algebra? Like, comment, and subscribe. Your support will help keep this channel running. Alright, guys and gals, let's talk about variables. Now, a variable is a placeholder for a value, and it behaves as the value that it contains.
okay, it's a placeholder for a value, of course, that behaves as the value it contains. Of course, I mean, if, for example, uh, x is the value, x's value is like 5, and it contains, and it will evaluate the contain as well as the same thing. So when you do sort, so it'll show the value, and on compiler, it'll show the 5, which which is the value of x. That's all.
Do you remember from either elementary school or middle school when we were working with algebra? We usually had to solve for some sort of variable like x or y, and x or y contained some sort of numeric value, and for all intents and purposes, this variable behaved exactly as this value. Well, with programming, we can perform something similar to that, but we are not limited to just numbers. We could also store words, whole sentences, and these things called Boolean values, which hold either true or false. But if we're going to store a value within a variable, we have to list the data type of what we're planning to store within that variable. Is it going to be a number, a word, a Boolean? So we need to discuss data types. There are 8 primitive data.
So on Java, we're gonna discuss some data types. Data types are basically, as I say, Boolean, byte, short, integer, long, float, BLE double, char, and string. These are all variables. These are all variables. Okay.
Types and a special reference data type called a string. Anything that I have noted with a star is particularly important, so I would pay special attention to these. Our first data type is Boolean. This has a size of 1 bit, so it can only hold 2 values, that being true or false. If
So as I said, so this thing has only 1 bit, which value only true or false. Okay. For the short, also contains 1 byte. Value is different until 127. Minus 128 to 127, right? Okay.
we're attempting to assign a Boolean value, we would type either equals true or equals false. Something similar would be, let's say we have a light switch program. Well, if the light switch is on, we could say that the light switch has a value of true. If it's off, it has a value of false. So this is binary. That's why it only uses 1 bit. It
Oh,
only
I'm
needs
sorry. I'm sorry. This belongs to byte, and this belongs to Boolean. Short is different. I was like, what's going on?
1 bit of memory to function. Next, we have byte. This isn't as important as a few others, but with 1 byte, we can hold an integer number between negative 128 to 127 because a byte only has 1 byte of memory. A short has 2 bytes of memory, so it can hold a larger number between negative 32,000 and some change
Yeah.
to 32,000 and some change. So integers are important. These use 4 bytes of memory, and they can store a number to.
So it is 32,600 768 is the value minus 30,768 to 32,768 value 67 actually 67. Okay.
Just under 2 billion to just over 2 billion because they use 4 bytes of memory. And a long, they use 8 bytes of memory, so they can hold a very large
So
number.
integer is always biggest things. So minus 2 billion to 2 billion. So it is good. Minus 2 to 2 billion. A lot of number of things for the long as well as for I think 8 bytes. Yeah, 8 bytes. So minus uh, quintillion to 9 quintillion. So it's a huge number of
They can
bytes.
hold a number between just under negative 9 quintillion to just over positive 9 quintillion.
As I said, so it holds the 8 bytes of memory. So minus 9 quintillion to trillion to 9 quintillion. Okay, so for the float, it is always decimal. So fractional number up to 6 to 7 digits. So yeah, it is 4 bytes of memory. And it has the contents of 6 to 7 digits after the decimal. Okay, after decimal. After decimal, that can contain up to 7 digits. And for the double, 8 bytes of memory, but it contains up to 15 digits. Fractional number up to 15. Fractional number mm, up to 15. So 15 digits, 5 digits. Okay, I mean, in character, it's 2 bytes.
Now, a float, they can store a fractional number, specifically up to 6 to 7 digits. What makes floats different from these data types on the top here is that bytes, shorts, integers, and longs can only store a whole integer. They cannot store this decimal portion. So if you're working with a program or a variable that uses a fractional number, you'll need to use either a float or a double. And a double has more precision. It uses 8 bytes of memory, and it can store a fractional number up to 15 digits. So in comparison with a float, this has less precision than a double. And for an example, I just listed a few of the digits of pi. With this example, we can only store 6 to 7 digits of pi, but with a double, we can store up to 15. There is one strange convention with floats. If you're going to assign a value to a variable that's of the float data type, you need to follow the value with the letter F. With double variables, you actually do not need to do so, so that's one major difference when assigning values between these two. Now let's move on to characters, pronounced char for short. Think of Charizard. This uses 2 bytes of memory, and this will store a single character, letter, or ASCII value. An example would be the letter F, but a common convention with assigning values to a char variable is that you need to surround this value with a pair of single quotes. And our last
So here he's explaining about the
you need
char.
to
Char is
surround
different.
this value with a pair of single quotes. And our last step
So he said a pair of single quotes, and that is really important for the char or character variables. And it's only 2 bytes of memory, and though it is 2 bytes of memory because it can contain a very singular particular number letter, not the number, I'm so sorry. So a value should be also sometimes a ASCII value could be within inverted or within any single character, a single letter. So it's very
data
easy.
type is the string data type. The size really varies because these are reference data types. They
So we just made a note here. So these are the variables. These are the things we can use it for this kind. Excuse me, for the variables on Java. So we're gonna do all this kind of primitives. These are all primitives, uh, and this is almost the same. All together, all these variables.
store a sequence of characters, like a word or a sentence. You could store a single character within a string, but chars and strings behave differently because chars are primitive data types and strings are reference data types. So let's distinguish the difference between primitive and reference data types. Here's a super quick description between the differences of primitive and reference data types. Primitive data types, there are 8, and we just discussed them. They are Boolean, byte, short, integer, or longs, all those cool things that we just discussed. Reference data types, like strings, well, there's an unlimited amount because they are user-defined. Primitives store data. Reference data types store an address. Primitives can only hold one value. Reference data types could hold more than one value. Primitives use less memory compared to reference data types, which use more memory, and primitive data types are faster compared to reference data types, which are slower. Now you're probably thinking, cool story, bro, but how do we create a variable? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. So the first process with creating a variable is that we need to declare the data type of what value that this variable is going to store. So come up with a variable name, like x, and we will precede this variable with the data type of the value that we're planning to store within this variable. And then with all statements, we follow this with a semicolon at the end. The next step is called assignment. We will take our variable and assign it equal to some sort of value of the data type that we declared this variable to be. But you could combine steps 1 and 2 together, and this process is called initialization. We would take the data type followed by the variable name and set it equal to some value, and then add a semicolon at the end to finish the statement. So you can either do this in 2 steps with declaration and assignment, or combine them both together, which is initialization. How about we create a few variables? Does that sound good to you guys? So let's begin with creating an integer variable. Let's say int x. This step is called declaration. We are declaring the data type of what value is going to be contained within this variable. The second step is called assignment. We can assign our variable a value. Let's say x equals 123, and this step is called assignment. Or we could combine both of these steps together, and this process is called initialization. Int x equals 123, and this would be initialization. So we can do stuff with this variable. It will behave as the value that it contains. we could print this to the console window, so within a print or print line statement, we could print the value of x. So make sure you do not write this within quotes. Right now, this will display the value that is contained within x, which is 123, because this variable behaves as the value that it contains. If you were to surround this with quotes, what we are doing now is printing a string literal. You can also print text as well as a variable together. Let's say we have a sentence, a string literal that states, my number is, and then if we want to do some string concatenation with a variable, we would add plus and then the variable name. Make sure this is not within quotes. So this will display the sentence, my number is, plus our variable, and in the console window it states, my number is 123. So with integer variables, the largest number that you can store within an integer variable is just over 2 billion. Let's say we are
Okay, so for integers, as we explained everything over here, so let's just go into, so as you said, we have a lot of uh, things. String, uh, what's going on? String. These are all variables. So byte variables. Then what? What else? Okay, integer, boolean, string, bytes. Uh, char. What else? What else we learned? Learned what else? Short, long, float, double. Okay, short, long, float, double. Okay, these are all these variables. Okay. So these variables are used to make the product variable, various character variations, or make this variety for that kind of product. So if we even just let's do it in which is integer, we use from the number value equals 5. Okay, so you to sort, if we go value, so here this is the variable thing, and when we name it anything, my age, okay, if you do my age 5, my age is 5, no, my age is what, 32, right or wrong? If you just go and run this page, my age 32, okay. As you said, we can add some other kind of thing, such as my age is, if you want to combine this variable, so it shows no problem with this, my age, so you can go and run this compact. So now it is showing my age is what, 32. You can see my age is 32. All right, so these are the variables you can use for integer way. But at the beginning of that thing, he said into different way of criteria, into different way of like coding, which is really important to know, such as if you go with this, uh, this is declaration, okay, integer uh, 32. I think it's under 32. No, no, no. I don't know. I forgot. Um,
We are working with an extremely large number. There is some string together within, and this process is
X
called
is
initialization.
declaration.
123, and this step is called.
Okay, so I mean, this way, I mean, if somebody wants to do it, why not? My age equals 32. That is called assignment, assignment part. Yes, okay, so then he did this initialization. Yeah,
Assignment, or we could combine both of these steps together, and this process is called initialization. Int x equals 123, and this would be initialization. So we can do stuff.
okay. So as I did, so I did it before initialization. Always, you can see my previous uh here, my number, this, and these are initialization part. It should show. But it is not showing. I don't know why it is not showing. Anyway, uh, and this is the initialization part. So it is now it is telling you this is the yeah my twins age. Twins age. If you go with this kind of thing, let's see how does it work. My twins age, my ages plus twins age is 32, whatever it is. Again, age format. You just name it. You just put the code again, age format. Okay, you go with this. Same thing, 32. No problem. Okay, so I don't know why is it showing some problem here. Probably because of this thing. Okay, let's do with this 21. No, not 21. Let's do it 33. And when you separate the integer, it doesn't have any problem with this. my age is 32 only shown, but it doesn't show this declaration because this has already been done already into separate integer. Okay, so when you do another kind of thing, probably you can separate the integer x equals 5. You can do this. I tried to do this before as well. Hmm. Okay, so let's do with the boolean. My age equals hmm, true. It's always show you the value true or false. So, my age is still. But the thing is, if you want to like don't want to separate this line, okay, with the trend line things, trend line, da, da, da. Okay, now you're gonna do like this, just true. What is my age? I think you can do with this, like whole thing. Just do. Can you do this? Mm-mm. No, you can't. You can't. I think you can. I think you can. My, no, this is a problem here. So let me do this. Mm, you don't have to. When you separate with the black slash, no, you can't. Mm. Here's a problem, bro. An attribute doesn't take it. Mm. Which is true is a different thing. I want to make this true into here. Can we do this or not? In a Boolean, my age, it doesn't work. True. That's true. You can. You want to make it here, you can do like this way, but uh, that's a different triangle. But when you do an again, it's true. It's true. Okay, so let's do with the video.
With this variable, it will behave as the value that it contains. We could print this to the console window, so within a print or print line statement, we could print the value of x. So make sure you do not write this within quotes. Right now, this will display the value that is contained within x, which is 123, because this variable behaves as the value that it contains. If you were to surround this with quotes, what we are doing now is printing a string literal. You can also print text as well as a variable together. Let's say we have a sentence, a string literal that states, my number is, and then if we want to do some string concatenation with a variable, we would add plus and then the variable name. Make sure this is not within quotes. So this will display the sentence, my number is, plus our variable. And in the console window, it states, my number is 123. So with integer variables, the largest number that you can store within an integer variable is just over 2 billion. Let's say we are
Oh,
working with an extremely large number, like the amount of student debt that I owe. Well, this number is too large to store within an integer variable. We would probably want to use the long data type. And one convention with assigning values to a long variable is that you need to follow this number.
okay. So I'm pausing it here because I'm gonna show you how to do with the long variation. So if you go integer, uh, total population of of Bangladesh, how many equals uh, 20 crore. Okay, so I think uh, I think I need one more zero. Okay, now this is good. 20 crores. So if it is 20 crore, so we can do like this, but it still shows the problem. You can do comma first of all between these zeros or between any numbers. So though it is showing this kind of, for example, this zero, then it can't. This zero, it can't. This zero, it can't as well. Until what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Which is what? We know the rules and regulations is the numbers integer minus 222 billion, which is 4 bytes memory. So beyond 2 billion, they cannot take it. They cannot take it. So it's within 2 billion. So when it is beyond 2 billion, it cannot take it. So total population of Bangladesh is this 2 billion. If you say, for example, it is just an example, then you can take it. But if it is more than uh, like total population of USA, U, USA, it's more than 2 billion. 20 right now it is 20 billion. So in that case, if you now, I mean, right now it is showing here 20 billion, but total population of USA is I think 32. So in that case, you cannot use the integer. You have to use the long, and to make it attributed, you have to add the L at the end of these things. Either it is capital or it could be a smaller letter. So when you go with the total population of USA, will show there's no problem with this thing. It is not showing true. This true was right here before we used to do this. So that's why it is showing you like this, okay? So you don't need to use this attribute. Just show this. Okay, so we're gonna have to separate this. No, not this black. It's a backslash, but within inverted comma. Now it is separated, and to separate from this true and this true, you're gonna use again another um, separation, which is from here, I guess. Backslash n, which is separated, I guess. It is separated now. Now you can see true is separated, and the another true, which is Boolean true, is separated, and a total population of USA. I'm just making this 20 billion, I guess. Just beyond 2 billion, it has to be the long attributions or long variations. Use. That's what I mean to say.
Number with a capital L for some reason. So we can now work with extremely large numbers. So this might be useful if you're working with numbers like the speed of light or something. So we now have a long variable and we can display this value. A few of the other data types that we mentioned were bytes and shorts. They have a lesser number that they can store. So with bytes, you can only store up to, I believe, 127. So we could store like 100 within here, and this would be fine, but 130 would be a little too much though. So we don't tend to use bytes and shorts too much as a beginner because it's just way more convenient to work with integers. But you might use longs every once in a while too. But as beginners, we're mostly going to be sticking with integers. Now a double can store a number with a fractional portion. With integers, we cannot store a decimal portion. So if this was 123.01, well, we cannot store this decimal portion. We can only do so with a float or a double. So with a float, you would type in float for the data type. Let's create a new variable like y. Float y equals 3.14. And a common convention for assigning numbers, well, values to float variables is that you have to follow this with f. So you can store a number with a decimal portion within a float or a double, and then we could display whatever this value is. So y is equal to 3.14, but people tend to use doubles more because they have more precision, and then you do not need this f at the end. So this will store up to 15 digits after the decimal portion. So we also have Booleans. Let's say Boolean z equals, this holds either true or false.
Okay, so I've done already Boolean, so let me go with the float version things. So on this criteria, I'm gonna go with the floating. So floating means the number which has decimal. So if we go integer x values equals 3.1416, and you do this and slot x, it won't give you nothing. It's a lot of problems here. It has a problem. Coding has a problem. What problem? Because as we know, the integer should be only regular numbers between 2 billions and minus 2 billions. But if you go beyond that level, which is like if it comes with the decimals things, you can't do with the integer. So for integer, only the regular numbers, but for the decimal things, floating is the only version you can do. But for floating, you have to add f with the end of the number, end of that decimal things. It can go up to 7 digits for the floatings. For example, 3.1416232239. So how many digits after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? If you do F, it could go. But if you go 4 and then F, still you can go. But it says up to 15, which is the double. Let's go with this. So 3.141624. See, you can see by yourself. So it is showing 3.1416. I mean, I typed 3.14162394F, but it is showing 141624 up to how many digits? 6 plus F with the 7. So every time if you go with this kind of value, uh, such as float, if you go with the float again, x2 equals 3.232259, lot of things numbers, right? And f, right? And then you go with this, and after that sort with the x2. Now you can see what happened. Float x2 cannot be done like this. So for example, you go with something else. That's what it is showing the problem. Float pillar numbers. Pillar MEASUREMENT, measurement. Measurements or pillar measurements. So pillar measurements will be shown. So it doesn't show any problem, though it is not a problem, I guess. but it could be a problem. But it didn't show me any problem. The thing is, you made 3.232244, lot of things, right? So it will count until 6 digits, including F is 7 digits. So F is abstract for the floating number. So it will show 3.2232244, and then it added +1 because it was beyond 5. All the values, when we know in mathematics, when you used to do algebra, we know after decimal points, any number which is beyond 5, then added to the previous number 1, +1 would be added. So that's the thing. So doesn't show any problem, so it is showing me like this thing, only long literal, this ends the lowercase I, so or something, or L. So this is the long thing, as it is. So if it is the problem, then we can do like this, probably and show any problem. Now it is not showing any problem, because sometimes it counts lowercase, it counts bigger F or bigger L. So for example, here as well, you go with the bigger F, it is better to do the coding. So it counts with the bigger F and bigger L, as well as for the contrary. So as he mentioned, most of the our teacher, most of the cases, he says we use double variation. So the size of the, you cannot separate, size of the house equals 4.5 by degree. Okay, so 4.5, 4.5, 6665699 F26 or something, or whatever. It goes up to 15 digits. So for example, you do this and then you do this and then sort, and the size of the house of degree. We found the variables. So we go with this. So you can see it can go up to 15 digits, though we made those digits probably more than, definitely more than 15. And so you can see, and you can add some text variables too here, because we are unknown what is, because when you make a software or any application, this number, when the application will be like this, so we know nothing about this number. So what is this number, right? So we don't know nothing about this number. So for that, we can use some string, then that is the size of the house by degree, then plus it. No, no, no. Now you have to do the semicolon and then plus it. Now you add this. Now you can see the size of the house by degree equals this. Now you can understand what is this number for. So you can code like this way. So whatever the simplicity is, you can do simple coding. You can make this non-hesitated. So code would be finer and code would be simpler. Now we can go to the
then we can display
false.
what value is within this Boolean. So if we print our variable z, this will display false. Or we could hold true, and this will display true, but we can't display anything else besides those two. Like we cannot hold the word pizza because Booleans only hold true or false. We have characters, char for short, char, and we don't necessarily need to come up with a variable that's only one letter. We could have a name or something that's descriptive for this. Let's say we have a variable called symbol. Char symbol equals, and then place a character within single quotes. Let's say we want the @ sign. So we now have a variable called symbol that contains the @ sign. So if I were to display this variable symbol to the console window, it will display the value that is contained within, which is the @ sign. And then lastly, we have strings. So with strings, these start with a capital S because they are of the reference data type. Anything that's a reference data type begins with a capital letter. And let's say we want to.
Okay, so he talked about the char, which is character symbol. He named it symbol, but you can do anything, such as char. If you what is going on? If you do char, and if you go with the such as this is a character, right? Uh, so, for example, my friend's name is what's his name? I forgot his name. Char. The digital marketing stands for equals. You have to do it's D. Okay. So then you just complete it. So it is sort. If you go with this, the marketing stands for. If you do this, I don't think it'll come because it has to be only okay. Print the string and then terminate the line. This method behaves as though it invokes print string x, the string to be printed. Okay, prints a string and then terminates the line. This method behaves as though it invokes, that means it breaks, print string and then print line. Though we'll just see what's going on. No, it didn't. It didn't take it. So for the char, for the char, anything, anything. Boshu equals B. It has to be one B. Okay, and sort. It cannot be Boshu. Yeah, right. It was okay. It was okay, bro. It was okay. So it stands for B. Now you can add Boshu stands for, then you do the semicolon and this plus you just do the plus and that's all. Now you do this. Boshu stands for B. Now it is printing. Okay. Again another character, if you do character, if you do my friends wish to do digital marketing made him Boshu. No, made him uh, within one inverted market here. Can it be done? It can be, I guess. No, it cannot. It's only one character, one letter. Made him marketeer here M, which is one character M, and then stop, then my friends, and this thing. And so M stands for what? So we're gonna be doing this. My friends wish to do digital marketing, which made him marketeer. So you do this, add with this attribution, then you just say it. Okay? No. Now here you just do this. It stands for M. Now it is M. It equals M. Okay. So these are the way into like coding things, and so these are the way I'm still learning. And when you submit the application, so I'm not saying this is the application, this is just a format. And it could be variables, it could be so many other things, so many fucked up shit. I mean, not fucked up shit, I mean, so many things will be coming up. Anyway.
To store our name. So string is the data type. Let's say the variable name is name equals, and to store a string, it works similar to a string literal. We're going to use a set of double quotes and display or add a bunch of text like my name. And then I can now display my name to the console window, or I could do some string concatenation too and display the word hello plus my name. And within the console window, it's now going to display hello bro. So that is everything you need to know to get started with variables in Java. If you would like a copy of all this code, I will post all of this in the comments down below. Don't be afraid to smash that like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe if you'd like to become a fellow.
Machine learning is all about statistical models. You probably know.
Bro.
So, as you heard, he mentioned about this. These are all like starting processes to. There is no word such named processes. It's a starting process to learn Java, and then we're gonna do more specific and more statistically heavy rainfall. So, so until then, I have to just quit for now. Then let me do this way. So I'll do some coding on something specific into little intermediate level. These are all semi-intermediates. So we'll be doing some intermediate level, and then we can go beyond some levels. So until then, be safe, eat well, sleep well.